Whispers rippled through the cabin like wildfire. Passengers pressed their faces to the windows, phones trembling in their hands, recording the surreal sight of two Raptors bowing to a civilian jet. But no one was more shaken than Emily. The flight attendant hurried down the aisle, kneeling beside her seat. "Ma'am, they said you? Do you know them?" Emily swallowed hard. For years she had lived quietly, hiding the truth even from her neighbors. But now, at 30,000 feet, the secret she thought was buried was burning in the open sky. The captain himself emerged from the cockpit. His eyes locked on her. "Captain Hayes?" he asked in a hushed tone. Emily froze. Only those who had studied old military records would know. "Yes," she whispered, almost ashamed. "I was Falcon." Gasps erupted from nearby passengers. A teenager whispered to his mother. "Falcon? The one who flew into enemy fire to save her squad." Emily's hands trembled. Memories she had locked away came rushing back. The smoke, the radio chatter, the moment she chose her brothers in arms over her own safety. She had been awarded the Silver Star, but instead of fame, she chose silence. The weight of loss had been too much. The captain bowed his head. "It's an honor to have you aboard." His voice cracked, genuine respect filling the small space. The boy beside her tugged her sleeve. "You're a hero?" Emily shook her head, eyes glistening. "No. I just did what anyone should when others need them." Outside, the F-22s held steady, their formation a tribute. And for the first time in years, Emily allowed herself to sit taller, not as a passenger, but as Falcon, the protector who had never truly left the sky. The engine sputtered, then died completely. The silence was deafening. No hum, no vibration, just a rush of wind outside the windows. Panic spread like wildfire in the cabin, but Emily's voice cut through it all, steady and calm. "Captain, nose down, keep the glide steady. Raptors, guide us in." "Roger, Falcon. Runway in sight. You've got this." The massive jet, once helpless, now floated like a glider toward a small military strip. Inside, passengers clung to each other, whispering prayers. But in the cockpit, Emily radiated a confidence that no one else could summon. At 500 feet, alarms screamed again. The runway looked too short. The captain's hands shook. "We're not going to make it." "You will make it," Emily snapped, her voice like steel. "Flaps full, hold steady. Trust me." The jet touched down hard. Tires screeched. Sparks flew as brakes groaned. The plane shuddered, skidding, but slowed, inch by inch, until it finally came to a grinding halt. For a moment, there was nothing but silence. Then, cheers erupted. People cried, hugged strangers, and pressed their hands against the windows, thanking heaven above. The captain turned to Emily, tears in his eyes. You saved us all." Emily simply unbuckled her belt. "No. We saved each other." As passengers disembarked, the F-22 pilots stood at attention beside their jets. One raised his hand in a sharp salute, his voice cracking over the radio. "Welcome home, Falcon." Emily paused at the steps of the aircraft, looking back at the people she'd protected. For the first time in years, she allowed herself a smile. She wasn't just a forgotten veteran. She was living proof that courage never leaves you, no matter how high or how far life takes you. And on that day, 180 souls carried her legend forward. The aircraft steadied, but the relief was short-lived. Warning alarms blared again, fuel leaking fast. They had maybe 20 minutes before the engines cut out. The captain's voice trembled. "We can't reach land in time." Passengers began praying, crying, clutching hands. But Emily stayed calm. She slipped the headset back on, her voice sharp and commanding. "Raptors, this is Falcon." The cockpit went silent. The captain turned, stunned. "Falcon?" That name was legend in every Air Force briefing room. Static broke on the radio, then the F-22 pilot's voice came through, hushed but firm. "Copy, Falcon. The skies have missed you." The co-pilot's jaw dropped. "Wait, you're Falcon?" The pilot who saved an entire squadron in Afghanistan? Emily didn't answer. She had no time for stories. Raptors, I need an escort vector. Nearest landing strip, now. Roger that. Diverting you east, Falcon. We'll clear the skies. The F-22s roared ahead, cutting a path like guardian angels. In the cabin, word spread like wildfire. Passengers who had once ignored the quiet woman in row 18 now stared at her with awe. A little boy peeked out from his seat, whispering, "Daddy, she's not scared." Emily's eyes softened, but her focus never wavered. She leaned into the mic. "Captain, listen carefully. We're going to attempt a dead stick landing. Follow my lead, no hesitation." The captain nodded, sweat dripping down his temple. "Yes, ma'am." As the aircraft descended, Emily's steady voice filled the cockpit, each instruction crisp, unshaken. Her hands rested on the yoke only briefly, but her presence alone gave the crew the courage they desperately needed. For the first time in years, she wasn't just a passenger, she was Falcon again. And everyone aboard knew their fate rested in her hands. The cabin lights flickered. A low rumble vibrated beneath the passengers' feet. The captain rushed back toward the cockpit, his face pale. "Ladies and gentlemen," his voice crackled through the intercom, "we're experiencing a technical malfunction. Please remain calm." Panic spread instantly. Mothers clutched their children. Businessmen gripped their armrests. Emily's instincts screamed, this wasn't just turbulence. She rose, steady despite the shaking. The flight attendant blocked her path nervously. "Ma'am, please sit." "I know that sound," Emily interrupted firmly, her voice carrying the weight of command. "One of the engines is losing pressure." Gasps filled the rows. How could she know? But the captain had heard her and quickly returned. "You flew combat birds, didn't you?" Emily nodded. "Let me help." Moments later, she was in the cockpit, headset pressed against her ear. The crew glanced at each other, uncertain, but desperation outweighed hesitation. Emily's hands moved with muscle memory she thought she had lost forever. "Altitude's dropping," the co-pilot warned. Emily's voice steadied. "Level her out. Don't fight the descent, guide it. Think of it like gliding a hawk into the wind." Her calm tone cut through the fear. Outside, the Raptors stayed close, their pilots fully aware of who was inside. One of them broke radio silence. "Falcon, this is Raptor 2. We've got your 6. Just say the word." The co-pilot's eyes widened. "They know you." Emily ignored the astonishment. She focused on the controls, speaking with precision, her voice once again the anchor in chaos. "Easy, breathe with her, steady, there you go." She guided. And slowly, unbelievably, the jet stabilized. The passengers erupted into cheers, unaware that the quiet woman in row 18 had just saved them from disaster. But Emily knew this was only the beginning. The cabin lights dimmed as Flight 417 cruised above the Atlantic. To most passengers, it was just another long flight. But for the quiet woman seated in row 17A, every mile in the sky felt heavier than the last. Her name was Captain Emily Hayes, though no one on that plane knew her by that title anymore. To them, she was just another tired traveler, a widow with streaks of gray in her hair and a small duffel bag by her feet. When turbulence rattled the plane, a little boy beside her panicked. Emily gently took his hand, her calm voice steadying him. "It's just the sky reminding us she's alive." The boy smiled through his tears, and his father whispered a thank you. Emily brushed it off. Kindness was second nature to her. But then, the unexpected happened. The captain's voice came over the intercom. "Ladies and gentlemen, don't be alarmed, but we've been joined by U.S. Air Force F-22 escorts." Gasps spread across the cabin. Passengers peered out to see 2 Raptors gliding alongside the plane. Emily's heart skipped. She knew their formation, their subtle maneuvers. And then, over the radio, one pilot's voice cracked through. "Command, we've got eyes on a legend. Call sign Falcon. Permission to salute." The cabin froze as both jets tipped their wings toward her window. The boy gasped. They're saluting you! Emily turned away, tears streaming. She had buried that call sign years ago. But in that moment, the world remembered who she truly was.